We're here with Mark Stern of Youth Brigade, and I guess to start off, I always do this. So, what's your favorite song to play live?
Well, I don't know. Probably I Hate My Life because it starts with the drums, and I wrote that part, so that's good. Nah, it's a fun song to play. I like to play that one. People get into it. It's a crowd pleaser.
So, you got the new movie out and everything, and do you have a favorite section of the movie or anything? Can plug the movie here. Go buy it.
Is there a favorite section? Well, there's a good section because they tracked down Brian, our old roadie, who was in Another State of Mind. He was like teaching everyone how to slam. And then they actually found him and like had him recreate that scene, except now he has like long hair and he did it in his garage with his dog. I thought that was pretty funny. There's some good parts in there. There's some extras at the end of the DVD that are pretty funny. With the bouncing souls, there's like 30 minutes of like feature, bonus features at the end. There's some funny stuff. But you got to buy the box set to see that.
Nah.
But yeah, the book. I designed the book, and then my friend Jesse Fisher did the cover. As I was doing the inside part, which was like 100 pages, trying to track down stories and get photos and scan. It was like 3 months of, basically like 18 hours a day, just trying to put this thing together. And we would get stories in, and some of them would suck. You're editing it, and you got to throw stuff out. We're trying to get stuff that kind of reflected the time to give you a better idea of what was going on. So, and the book came out great, but it was, pretty much most of my friends just didn't want to talk to me anymore after that. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't go out. I'm just like, leave me alone. I'm just stuck in there, just in this room, just working for seriously over 3.5 months, every day, 7 days a week. And then Jesse, he did the cover, luckily, because I wouldn't have been able to come in, get it all done if it was just me. And he did he did Rancid, Out Come the Wolves. He did a lot of NoFX stuff. Amazing artist. So, and then the two of us sort of came up with the whole design with the vinyl and everything. So, what it is, it's a 100-page coffee table book, and it has 2 color vinyls in there. And on the records is all these bands doing songs out of the BYO catalog. Like Pennywise does a cover of 7 Seconds, We're Gonna Fight. 7 Seconds covered Youth Brigade, St. Louis, California. Bouncing Souls did, Bouncing Souls did 7 Seconds as well. We did SNFU. There's some good ones. NoFX did Battalion of Saints. Dropkick Murphys did a Youth Brigade song. So a lot of bands on there. Channel 3 did, some, Dillinger 4's, Leatherface did Dillinger 4 song. Who else is on there? American Steel did Alkaline Trio.
And then the Briefs did Who Is Who. I remember that one.
Yeah, the Briefs did the Adolescence, and Pulley did an Adolescence song as well. It's awesome. Yeah. So it's great. I mean, it's like, we're trying to make something that people could just would just want to buy it and own it, put it on your shelf, put it on your coffee table, something that that's not so disposable. Not just like a CD. You get it, you put it in your computer, you burn it, and you chuck it. Try to bring back like the art, and we got a lot of great photographers in there, and great stories from different people from bands. Jack from TSOL wrote a really good story about the show we did together. Fat Mike wrote a pretty funny one about one of the first shows they did. I promoted, and I put them on. Put them on the show. They sucked. There's some funny ones. You gotta get the book. I'm not gonna give it all away, but
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, we've been touring with it, and people, when they see it, no one really understands exactly what it is. Like, oh, it's a book, whatever. And it's like, no, it's like 2-color vinyl and the movies on DVD, and then there's a CD of all the music too. So it's like all in this whole package, and when people see it, they're just totally into it. And we're getting like amazing reviews on it, and it's great because it's, it's something a little different than what's out there, and no one, like stores, they don't really know, like, what do I do with it? I don't really know where to put it. I'm not a store that has a book with all this shit in it, but it's like, well, fucking, deal with it, like figure it out, you know what I mean? Because times are changing and things are different. We're just trying to do something a little different. We want to keep going on. People are just, business as usual. Let's put out a CD, and no one's buying CDs, people are stealing music, and the record industry is going down the toilet, basically.
Nah.
You know, we've been doing this for 27 years, and it's things are in bad shape now. You know, these days. I mean, basically, bands have to be on the road to make any money. I mean, bands that were selling 300,000 records are selling like 30,000 now. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know?
And it's funny because there was a movie that they played. It was a short film right before yours, and it featured an interview with this lady from the Epoxies. And at some point she said, you know, yes, I download music. I think, like, I remember hearing a couple people just, like, snickering in the background, just, like, laughing at her.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you know, hey, I buy music on iTunes, but I think iTunes is totally cool because you could buy, you know, it's like, it's cool. It's got its good points and its bad points, but the good thing is that you can get everything's on there. And so, you know, if I'm sitting around and I'm like, oh, you know, this one song, and I'm trying to think of it, oh, yeah, I remember it, and I just go on iTunes and, like, they're 99 cents, and then there it is, I'm listening to it. And then you start, you know, getting into things, you know, like, oh, this artist, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they had this record. It's like going to a record store. But, you know, the whole thing of record stores, I mean, that's kind of gone. You know, it used to be that everyone would go to the record store to find out what was cool, you know, and then you'd meet people too, and that was kind of the whole part of the scene, you know, but it's not like that anymore. You know, everyone's just sitting on their ass on the computer. But, you know, but you can get a lot of music on iTunes, and for the artist, I mean, the artist gets paid more money, you know, it's better for a label and an artist, iTunes, because you sell it digitally, someone buys it and they own it, and then that's it. They can't go back to they can't go burn it and take it back to the store, and then the store returns it back to the label, and we have to pay the money back after we already paid the band the royalty. So that whole system is ridiculous. You know, the labels have gone bankrupt because of that. You know, so you know, there's good things about that, and you know, now vinyl's doing well. So, and I think a lot of it is people want to, if they're going to buy some physical product, you know, an album is much better, and then you can digitize it and put it on your computer. Then you own the album art, you know, some liner notes and something you can hold. So.
And you can actually read it
Exactly.
instead of reading fine print.
And for instance, like the guy who did the cover with the box set, this whole XXV thing that we're doing, it's like 25-year thing. I mean, he's an amazing photographer, and you know, I'll see CDs that he did, like say Pulley, you know, like and those guys are my friends, you know, and it's like that one with a skinhead guy, and he's got the chain and he's pulling it with his mouth, he's pulling a locomotive, you know. And it's like, yeah, it looks cool. You just kind of look at it, but he just had like there was an art show featuring 5 photographers, and he got all his stuff out of storage, you know, and he brought out the print, like say for that one, you know, this print that's like 3 feet by 5 feet of that photo, and you just look at it and it's amazing. You know, you would never see that on the CD. You just see a guy pulling a train and you only see the scene, but you don't see any of the details of the lighting and the reflections and everything that's in the photo, which is an amazing photo. You reduce that down to a CD, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And now everything's just getting reduced down to like a 1x1, you know, thing for people's phones. That's like what big designers are doing now.
Right.
That's like the big thing. You know, Metallica, I think they hired like one of the biggest, you know, ad agencies, because this friend of mine works, you know, for some of these places. Like, yeah, some of the biggest companies now are getting hired by these bands basically to make some kind of logo thing that's going to look good at 1 inch for phones. You know, that's where art is going. You know, 1 inch.